Cookware made in China. Is it better? Recently, I had a client reach out to tell me, and she discovered this cookware that was just like ours, made in China, only cheaper. Now, I'm not talking about the nasty non-stick stuff here that is coated with either PFOA or PTFE or any of those PFAS, nasty, forever chemicals. Any of those coated pans, forget about that. Throw them away. Doesn't matter where they're made. Doesn't matter if they're brand new in the box. Don't cook on them if you care about your health. What we are talking about is stainless steel made in China. When I heard about it, I was intrigued and I needed to know more. Hi, my name is James Tanti. I've been marketing the highest quality stainless steel cookware made in the USA now for over 3 decades. I've encountered hundreds of different brands of cookware over the years. I've seen manufacturing processes, so I do understand how quality cookware is created. Today, we're going to talk about 5 distinct advantages of buying domestically products in the US. We're going to talk about a comparison between standard Chinese manufactured and US manufactured stainless steel cookware. And at the end, I'm going to disclose 2 important cautions about purchasing any stainless steel cookware. So to start off with, what are the advantages of buying made in the USA? Any products? 5 reasons. Number 1, job creation. Number 2, quality control standards. Number 3, environmental standards. Number 4, fair labor practices. And number 5, national pride. So let's start with job creation. 85% of our economy is directly associated with small business. And when a product is made in the US and somebody is employed in the US, that dollar earned is a dollar spent, and there's a multiplier effect that helps us all. Job creation, so important for our economy. Number 2, quality control standards. It's no secret that products that are made in China tend to be cheaper, faster, but definitely not better. There is an axiom in business: you cannot have the highest quality and the lowest price at the same time. The US does have a standard of excellence for manufacturing cookware to the best in the US. When you think about products like watches, most people, yes, we're the best watches made. Well, it's a Swiss watch. We're the best cars. Maybe it's German or Italy. Might be a toss up there. Where is the best electronics? Japan takes it. So when we're talking about cookware, quality stainless steel cookware, the US dominates, and we represent the largest manufacturer in the US. And so we talk about quality control standards, environmental standards. Pollutions and emission controls are definitely lower in areas of Asia, China specifically, much less than the US and other parts of the world. And I think we all have a moral obligation to do our little part for the planet. And particularly when we think about, our next generation, our children that are going to be inheriting this earth. Fair labor practices. Now, we could get into this one. Our manufacturer did test, not with our product, but other products in the US, and they found it was a complete disaster for many reasons. But when we talk about fair labor practices, the word fair is important. In the US, it costs you extra for labor, not just the cost of the wage, but also the other benefits and workman's compensation. If you're in a higher risk type of job environment, manufacturing, construction, you can get hurt. According to the previous president of our manufacturer, Jeff Regal, the late great Jeff, he stated that in the US, you lose a finger, maybe you'll get $25,000 in insurance. You lose a hand, maybe $100,000. Now that's priceless. You can't replace a finger, a hand, an arm. Maybe $300,000 to $500,000, but you do get compensated. In China, you get hurt, you lose a job. Pretty simple. Fair labor practices. And finally, national pride. I've lived in the United States for 23 years. I am an immigrant, and there's no place on earth I'd rather live. In fact, I remember swearing the oath and listening to Lee Greenwood sing his song, Proud to Be American. And the truth of the matter is, we live in a country that we have freedom, and freedom is not free. And every time you buy a product made in the USA, guess what? You are subsidizing the freedom that we all enjoy. Let's talk for a moment about some of the typical features of China versus US stainless steel. The first thing is a misnomer, and that is the weight of the pan. For some reason, people think if a pan is heavier, it's better. In fact, consumers now agree that if a pan is too heavy, it becomes cumbersome, especially if you're moving around with food in it. If you're aging baby boomer or elderly, you may have arthritic or carpal tunnel or some sort of conditions. It's just not convenient, a pan that's too heavy. The construction I'm really referring to is what we call slab bottom. It's so much cheaper to just glue a slab on the bottom of the pan. Usually it's aluminum or different layers of aluminum or copper on the bottom. You'll notice that in a cutaway, it doesn't run up the side. The heat conductor doesn't run up the side, so it's only on the bottom of the pan. What does that mean really in cooking performance? It means that it's going to heat up faster on the bottom and it's not going to heat from the side. So you got to sit there and tend the food to make it work. Not necessarily the best performance. Next item of comparison, and that is the shininess. Some people just go, well, it's stainless steel. It's stainless. Not all stainless steel is created equally, just like gold has different alloys, 10, 12, 14, 22, 24 karat. You have stainless steel and you have different grades. Most of the stainless steel, most of the stuff sold in stores is made in China. Sometimes if you see a demonstration from an authorized distributor, a lot of those now, unfortunately, are also made in China. And you're spending a lot of money on that. And the grade of the metal might be an 1810 or a 304 type stainless steel. Actually very inexpensive to manufacture. The difference between the products we represent and these other products we're talking about is 2,000% more resistant to chemical attack. Now, what does that really mean? Well, according to Dr. Shelton's Natural Hygiene Review, he says that most stainless steel is of such a nature where the salts and acids of the food, when heated, create a reaction and chrome and nickel from the pan can bleed into your food. Now, I'm not an expert, but I do know that some of the lower quality stainless steels can have impurities in there, and it is probable that it can go into the food. And heavy metals are not necessarily the type of thing we want to eat. Maybe you want to listen to, but maybe you don't want to consume. Now, when we talk about other comparables, let's talk about temperature control. Now, some of these made in China cookwares, they have these little whistles. Sometimes they fall off and they got a big hole in the pan. Sometimes the whistle, you can't even hear it. These whistles, sometimes they open and close like this. If you don't open them, guess what? They don't whistle. If you don't close them, you don't get the benefit of the vacuum seal. If you close it prematurely and it's still too hot, the steam spits out the side. So these whistles may not be functionally the best system. The downside truly is the temperature. Anything over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the Mayo Clinic, starts breaking down the vitamins and the phytochemicals and the life-giving properties of the food. High heat destroys nutrition. So we want to cook below boiling, below steaming, and definitely not pressure cook the food, especially our vegetables. Speaking of pressure cooker, some of these Chinese, made in China pressure gauges, for them to work, think about this, entire lid needs to heat up for this brass little nut on the inside to heat up to move the mechanism of the thermometer on the inside. Now, if you're in another room, you're never going to hear it, right? But there's such a discrepancy between the actual internal cooking environment and the readout on the display here. So it's really not that effective. In fact, people have told me that if you immerse this underwater, put it in a dishwasher, moisture is going to get inside, fog up, and the mechanism doesn't work. And so when we talk about some of these differences, one of the biggest differences really is in the finer details, the general construction, the polishing, the finishing. So when you feel the surface, sometimes it's an irregular surface, or even on the side. Listen to this. it's actually kind of sharp on the edges where your hand goes on the handle here. I've had customers cut themselves. The plastic on here can get hot, but also the plastic, if you're cooking on gas, starts breaking down and eroding and things like that. So when you put all of these together, ladies and gentlemen, there is a big difference between made in China and made in the USA. So you can be the judge of what's better. I think the answer is rather obvious. And I wanted to close with two last things of buyer beware. Some people, some sellers, try to disguise the source of origin of their products. They try to pretend that it's actually made in the USA. They might give you a great presentation and say their product is quality, quality, quality. The price might even be a premium price, and I'm talking up there like thousands of dollars. But the question is it made in the USA? And if you look closely, based on federal labeling laws, the product must state by law the source of origin, where it comes from. And so to disguise this, some of these companies will put designed in the USA, engineered in the USA, distributed in the USA. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a red flag. So ask for the proof of origin. Next time you're seeing a product or a stainless steel and you don't know the source of origin, if they cannot produce it, walk away. Here is another loophole. The product might state made in the USA, and yes, it may be assembled in the USA. The question is, where are the parts sourced from? And when we talk about stainless steel, where's the metal coming from? Right? Can you imagine we received this set of cookware, brand new, trade in the box, and it had this beautiful USA flag on it. And when you open up the box, actually on the flag, it said packaged in the USA. And when you open the box, actually the pan had a stamp on it and said made in China. So little deceptive, I would say. So I think now you know the facts, ladies and gentlemen, on made in China, made in USA cookware. I'd like to leave a short commercial on the product that we've represented for over 30 years, best of the best. You've got temperature control, below boiling, below steaming. You've got the best metal in the industry. You got full body construction, even heat. You got detachable handles, so this can go in the refrigerator, in the oven, nice and even. Handles, take them off. They don't get hot. They don't wobble. They lock on. And, food just tastes good. So, when you're investing in quality, ladies and gentlemen, you want to have something that you have the confidence it's going to be, the company's going to be around to service you. And so, knowing what I know, I'd never compromise my values and sell a made in China cookware. It just wouldn't happen. Even if they offer me a ton of money, there's certain things that money does not buy. And so next time, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at stainless steel cookware, remember, good stuff's not cheap. Cheap stuff is rarely good, and you do get what you pay for. Let's continue to buy American quality. Wanted to wish you all the best in health, happiness, and prosperity. Your friend in success, James. Peace out.